The world is witnessing a shift in the balance of power, as a group of emerging economies known as BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are challenging the dominance of the US and its allies-led international order.
Here's the G7, a group of 7 of the world's advanced economies including the US, UK, and Japan. And here's what some call the alternative from the developing world, the BRICS.
Brazil, Russia, India, China. BRIC expanded with the accession of South Africa in 2010. It represents nearly a quarter of the global economy.
The meeting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa will consider whether to allow new members to grow the group's economic and geopolitical influence.
A platform that started off as a geo-economic platform is morphing into a geopolitical platform.
China really want out of BRICS really to brand itself as being a leader of the so-called global south.
Political platform would have a distinct frame, which would be anti-Western frame. And that, for India, is a no-go area.
Recently at their summit in Johannesburg, while more than 40 countries wanted to join the bloc, 6 were chosen. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Argentina, the UAE, and Ethiopia will join the current 5 members. This expansion was seen as a historic move by China's President Xi Jinping, who wanted to give the global south a stronger voice in world affairs. The 6 new countries are indeed quite critical. Argentina is the second largest economy in South America. Ethiopia is the heavyweight player in the Horn of Africa, and the only non-colonized country in the continent. Iran is one of the main actors in the Middle East, and a staunch anti-Western country. 3 Arab powers, namely Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, are the most relevant political, military, and economic powers in the Arab world. The membership of these 6 countries will surely increase the BRICS sphere of influence all over the world, and dramatically change the global balance of power. Right now, the total GDP of the 11-member BRICS stands at a staggering $30.75 trillion as of August 2023. Bloomberg predicts that BRICS could dominate 50% of the world's GDP by 2050, ushering in a new financial era. BRICS also now includes 6 of the world's 10 largest oil producers and 5 of its top 10 oil consumers. It contains 75% of the world's manganese reserves, 72% of rare earths, and 50% of graphite. This puts the US and Europe at risk of losing power in the next 3 decades. However, while they seem united against the Western hegemony, BRICS have different political systems, ideologies, values, and interests that may hinder their cohesion and coordination. 3 sharks, China, Russia, and India, compete with one another in Asia and Africa. Particularly in India, the decision to expand BRICS is a major foreign policy blunder, one that puts additional power into the hands of its regional rival, China, while restricting its own. So can India benefit from BRICS? Or will it turn into a major foreign policy failure for India? For years, India has been counterbalancing Western hegemony, overcoming control of the dollar, and desperately trying to increase the value of their currency. In the last 15 years, Modi focused on the New Development Bank, a multilateral development bank working with emerging markets, which works as a liquidity mechanism to support BRICS countries struggling with payments. So, as long as de-dollarization developments take a pragmatic approach, India will have advantages from BRICS. Additionally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping spoke on the sidelines at the BRICS summit to de-escalate tensions along their disputed border, as evidenced by the Doklam standoff in 2017 and the current Ladakh crisis. Also, entry into economic and development bodies such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has clear benefits for India. But this year, the BRICS expansion didn't go entirely New Delhi's way. India was reportedly opposed to adding another country that is subject to international sanctions such as Iran, which is not only hostile towards the West, but also expanding ties with China. As both rivals Pakistan and China could exploit Iran's critical points, India has much to be concerned about. After years of negotiation, India worked hard to get a deal with Iran to develop the Chabahar port. But if China gained a foothold, it could ruin India's efforts, as the Gwadar port in Pakistan has become. So BRICS expansion carries more risks than rewards for India, as it dilutes its standing in the organization while maximizing China's influence through ties to countries it already has stronger partnerships with. However, aside from Iran, India has an advantage because half of the new members are top Indian partners: Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. A growing arena for New Delhi's engagement because of energy and trade interests and broader geopolitical influence in the Middle East. Although this time, the BRICS expansion was a major win for China, which means in the future, India could face new challenges. The next round of new members may not be as favorable to India. For example, China and Russia could push for Pakistan to join, although its weak economy would make it a poor candidate. But ultimately, BRICS expansion also has its drawbacks, because it also brings new complexities and diversities that may complicate the decision-making and coordination among the BRICS countries. With 11 members instead of 5, and in future expansion, it will be even more difficult to reach a consensus. So where does India really stand? It's not that simple to answer. India's foreign policy, dubbed as strategic hedging, dates back to Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's era. This strategy mandates skillfully balancing relationships with Western and anti-Western powers. While it seems as though with BRICS, India may incline towards anti-Western, the Western world acknowledges India's potential as a vital strategic ally, a counterbalance to China's influence within the region. This positioning not only strengthens regional stability, but also attracts the attention of Western countries. The future role as host for all BRICS partners at the G20 conference in September is a visible manifestation of India's dominance. This event provides an excellent opportunity for India to further pursue its objectives. By participating in the G20 summit, India can effectively propose reforms in crucial fields, such as the global financial system and international institution governance structures. Evidently, India's membership in influential international groupings such as BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, G20, Quad, and the East Asia Summit clearly demonstrates its diplomatic efforts aimed at fostering collaborative global initiatives and safeguarding its own national interests.